on this brass. You can see I already started. Decided to go ahead and use this big Summit lathe I got. Just making a turning cut right at the moment. Cleaning up this old brass I got. You can see it's kind of tough to see what's going on with this big lathe just because the tool post is so big. That cuts fairly good. I got quite a bit of deflection though because I'm out 6-8 inches there on the part. But you see it's cutting real nice. Got a pretty good tool there, so cut for now. Get my measurements and calipers and a couple other tools, and we'll get to going on making this part. Okay, let's get on with making this brass bushing. You see I got our piece of brass chucked up there. Chucked it up closer to the chuck so that we got a little less deflection and everything. First thing I'm going to do is get this behemoth tool post pushed up a bit and get this tailstock up here. I got a center drill chucked up. I am going to, there's a nice center spot. I don't know if that hole we got in there is very good the way it is. You can see, looks like it's pretty well not in the right spot. We'll go ahead and get this guy going. We'll make a fairly deep cut. That way it gets us right dead center in this guy. For when we go ahead and drill out our center hole. You can see that made fairly simple work of that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull this back. Get out a drill bit, flip the lathe on. I'm going to go fairly deep with this since I got 4 of these to make. Probably only going to finish up the one here in the video. Not really much a point in showing everybody how to do all 4 of them. The other thing a guy could do instead of boring this, you buy yourself a reamer. It'd just be one shot right to it. I didn't feel like buying a reamer though, so just gonna let her rip. We're gonna call that deep enough. Get this pulled out of here. Fairly nicely moving parts yet. Most of this machine, but they're heavy. Going to go ahead. Get our outside diameter figured out though. And pull out our caliper. Right now we are at 0.10 over an inch. And we need to be at, let's look at our piece of paper, 622 plus a little bit of interference. So we got to take a little bit off. So let's start with about 200 thousandths we'll go for. And on this dirty old guy here, I don't know if you can see that, but every line is 0.02 of an inch. We'll go ahead and zero that just for a start cut, and then we'll get a more accurate measurement here. Now we got 2 options. We got auto feed, which is real sweet. Look at that. You keep an eye on it, make sure you don't crash it into our chuck. Adjust the camera there a little bit, there we go. Keep a good eye on her. She's getting close. Say that's probably enough. Back her back out. You can see when we came back a little bit, we didn't get any cut on our back stroke, meaning we don't really have any movement, anything right now. We don't have any movement in our part. As far as wobble, you know, everything's good and tight. That's making a real nice cut. Look at that. No problem at all. cut, no binding, not even having to use any lubrication. It's just kicking butt here. Alright. Well, do another 50 thou cut. Now, just because I'm going to go ahead and question the accuracy of the wheel, you never know, might be off a little bit, could cause some major malfunction if we had to go back and do the whole thing over again. It'd be really depressing. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here and take a little bit of a measurement. We are at 649. We'll go 10 thou cut. We'll measure it again in between each of these cuts since it's fairly critical. You can see that's a real light cut there. See the hand wheel? No stopping that, girl. The feed screw on this thing, huge. It's awesome. Almost there. Alright. Take another measurement. We said that was 10. What do we got here? Oh wow, what did I say? We're at 6. Oh wow, we are right at 625 thousandths. Right on. See, it pays to know your machine. Okay, after doing a little bit of searching here, I remembered that the smallest boring bar that I have for this particular lathe is this big, and it ain't gonna fit. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is part this off, take her over the Shoreline. We're gonna set up this parting tool. If you watched my parting tool video there the other day, see, I think I showed you this big guy. Pretty beefy. We'll go ahead and do our setup here. Got her squared up. Lock that down good and tight. Go ahead and put it on 5. That'll be 125. That's a little bit faster. I didn't do any of the calculations for feed and speed beforehand, so there we go. Off she comes. Now we just got to go look for it. Okay, we're rednecking it now. Had to offset the boring tool up a little bit higher. I went ahead and found a washer. I did that. Made my first little cut there. My spindle speed fairly high. Looking at that, almost looks like we're about perfect. Getting close. Go another 10 thou. Okay, cutting another 10 thousandths off. You see we got our spindle speed cranked way up. The Shoreline lathe that's actually just past halfway, and it's spitting brass everywhere. Makes for a good fun time. That was another 10 thousandths cut, and we're gonna call that good. Looky there. Nice bushing for us. So I'm going to go ahead and deburr this. And then the last thing to do will be to make the final cut to length. Okay. We've got our parting tool set up. we got our trusty little steel rule here, and we're going to be just under 400 thous, so we're actually going to make the cut just over 400 thou. Turn that on, turn it way down, just a pretty thin part, so once again you get to see it parting. Pretty neat little operation. So cut, 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 cut. Trying to feed this even. We'll try and see if we get a really good surface finish. I doubt it. I guarantee we're going to have to clean it up after. Get ready for the ride. Ooh, nice and hot. Okay, time for final cut and file here. We're going to go ahead and start by removing that little bit that was left over when we use the parting tool. And then we'll cut her back a little bit, file the edge down, and call her good. And we're just going to actually probably just go just a smidgen. Shut her down, get everything out of the way. Actually, we'll go ahead and file that edge just a little bit. If you see, we're actually very close to the edge of the chuck jaws. Very careful. Very, very careful. Check for some burrs. We'll go ahead and take care of those with the deburring tool. Alright, we will go see if this fits in our rocker nice. There is rocker. New bushing installed. Nice fit. There we go. That's how you make a bushing, folks.